gave speeches, of which I listened to all.
Yeah, I listened to Mitt Romney's speech. Let me tell you, I have not been so pissed off in
What pissed you off about that?
Because Mitt Romney is, to me, he seems like a sleazy, calculating, the most sleazy and calculating politician who is like, rah rah, America's the best, we rock, everyone else sucks, they can just kiss our ass, and it just seemed like, ooh, like I felt like...
But you know, just like he talked about with the rhetoric, that is how a lot of Americans feel, is that we are the greatest country in the world.
But why can't we believe that we are the greatest country in the world without spraying it everywhere like dogs peeing on our territory?
Because that's the whole point. There's a perception from the Republicans, the Democrats don't want to articulate that love of country.
But belief is not enough?
Well, belief without articulation is something different than belief with articulation.
Well, what does it take to articulate?
Just to say it.
Well, we do. We say it all the time.
I think that's,
Obama says all the time, for example. Obama says all the time, he's like, I realize that there is no other country in the history of the world where my story could have even been possible. And for that, and among many other things, I love it. I love this country more than any other, place I could possibly be from. This is the best country in the world. I don't know if he said those words, this is the best country in the world, because you know what? The best country in the world is a little bit relative, isn't it? I mean...
Is it?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is, because you can go to Switzerland and live a wonderful life and be free and have plenty of great things. And you, living there, can believe it's the best country in the world. And who are we to say that, oh no, you're the second best country in the world? Isn't it enough to say, I love my country, Isn't that enough?
Well, based on the standards of the individual rights that we have and the opportunities that exist in this country, I think they certainly set us apart from any other country in history.
We're unique.
And I would offer that there's such a broad range of what people can go and do in this country.
Sure.
Where in Switzerland you can't do that. There might be single niches or certain career paths or certain opportunities that do exist in other countries that are similar to the opportunities that exist here. Some are maybe slightly different. Okay. But I'm talking about the broad range combined with that personal liberty and that opportunism, that ability to pursue your dreams.
This really gets to the
heart of it. It really does get to the heart of it.
Because
I'm telling you,
I really do believe that this is the best country in the world for me, and that I wouldn't want to live anywhere else unless McCain gets elected again. But
oh my gosh,
I'm just kidding. But like, why do we have to be those people who are just there's a difference between confidence and cockiness.
I would agree.
Confidence is attractive, it's admirable, it's something that you can strive towards. Cockiness is over the edge. And I would argue that when you have people at this convention having signs that say country first, that are yelling USA, USA.
Oh, come on.
That's cockiness.
That is not cockiness at all. And here's the difference.
It's bravado. It's bullshit is what it is.
Bravado is not bullshit. What do major sports teams do before the Super Bowl?
In war?
Or
bravado
before
is not bullshit.
Major League Baseball? The World Series. You're right, in war, bravado is not bullshit.
But in a political convention, it's bullshit, in my opinion.
It is a team versus another team. That's what it is.
Right. They were not yelling Republicans, Republicans. They were yelling USA.
That's true, but how is that cocky by just saying USA?
Okay.
How is that cocky and not confident?
I'll tell you how it's cocky. Because of the stuff that Romney was saying. Because of the attitude that you can just go and, anybody who opposes you, you just go and bomb them and everything's going to be cool.
That's not what he said. Give us a break.
Essentially, this is the feeling. This is the idea. And obviously I can't, recite to you the lines that made me angry.
No, I know. I mean,
but I listened to the whole thing on the radio, and I was just steaming about that guy.
I felt the same way about some of the Democratic speakers.
Okay, well, which one?
Well, Biden and Clinton a little bit. This overarching theme that somehow government is responsible for taking care of people and serving the needs that they should be going out on their own and doing, and the government should provide them the opportunity to do, but not hand deliver it to them. And I think that some of that rhetoric, and I understand that that's what it was rhetoric in the Democratic side. It was, I had to go, I got a little bit up, but then I was like, it's just rhetoric. And to a certain extent, I feel like the same is true with the Republicans. A lot of it is rhetoric. A lot of it is appealing to your constituents. And you got to understand that there is this perception, I think, across the aisle, and Democrats would admit that they have a problem with this a little bit, that the patriotic aspect of it. Right?
What does it take to prove that you're a patriot? What does it take? Do you have to wear a lapel pin?
I think
you have to pronounce every speech that America's the best country in the world? What does it take?
I think it takes that outward confidence with people that are not your constituents and people that are not your base, and sometimes not necessarily your country. I think it takes you to be confident in your own way of life, and there's a balanced perspective of it. There's a balanced aspect of it, and that is, if you go other places and you say, yeah, there's some mistakes, there's some things we've done wrong and poorly, and we need to do a better job, and that's okay if it's sincere. But what happens is when that occurs over and over again, then there's this perception that, okay, we're to blame for most of our problems, right?
Well,
which is again a distinction between the two parties,
right? But the problem is that when you say, okay, we are to blame for some of our problems. Okay,
there's a disagreement, a respectful disagreement.
Now, I would say the Republican Party would say that we're not to blame for any of our problems, and that our geopolitical problems are all somebody else's doing, right? Whereas the Democrats would have a more nuanced view and say, yeah, we have some good policies, we have some bad policies, and we should probably kind of revisit some of them and admit our mistakes.
I don't think nuance is bad. I won't say that, but I do think that too much nuance causes a lack of definition and a lack of clarity. And I think that is, again, a perception that exists between the two sides, is that there's this nuanced view. It becomes a relativistic view, just like you just mentioned. Like, who am I to say that my country's the best? It becomes this relativistic view that, what they thought was good for them, but in reality, what we think is actually better. Whereas I think the Republicans would take the stance that, look, we have challenges, okay, and we tackle those challenges with based on the best information that we have available to us at the time, and we do it imperfectly. Everybody does it imperfectly. Every government, every human being.
The Bush administration would never admit a mistake.
They said they've made some mistakes.
When?
Sure.
When?
Talking about the war.
That would be big news if they admitted a mistake.
I think it was, certainly there were challenges and certain things that
they call them challenges.
Well, a lot of it's rhetoric, a lot of it's the language. Sure, I'll give you that.
But Bush wouldn't even admit that
But what's a mistake
about weapons of mass destruction? He doesn't even admit that.
What's a mistake? That we shouldn't have gone in there in the first place, which is what the Democrats would argue, or that in the conduct and in the preparation for an insurgency they made some miscalculations.